Michigan tight end Colston Loveland has the skill set and the upside to become a focal point in the passing game for an offense, while also letting the formation be able to be adjusted because of what he can do in line as well. So Colston Loveland, 6'5", 248, which I think is very, very encouraging to see him play at that size, and we'll get into why that is. 2023 and 2024, pretty solid production for the tight end position, especially on a per route basis, right? Clearing 2.35 yards per route run in the last two seasons. The contested catch rate isn't the greatest for the tight end position, but 31 first downs. The receiving grades have been off the charts. And I'm going to dig into why the run block grades I don't think are truly indicative of what Loveland is as a player. And you look at the first down per target and the first down per route run, something we've talked about on this channel with a lot with receivers, and how it compares to Warren and Fannin. It's not quite at their level, but I do think Loveland's production and traits are very, very impressive, and we're going to dive into the film room right now to take a look at why. All right, guys, here we go into the film room, taking a look at Colston Loveland. We're going to look at his blocking and receiving work, and throughout this film room, I'm going to kind of point out some spots where you go, okay, yeah, he can be the formation adjuster. He can be the guy who, you know, really helps disguise your offense at times. And again, just be a guy who can be a focal point for your offense at the NFL level. So we're going to start here as a blocker. I think that this is a great example of like guys like Puka Nacua and receivers who do a really good job blocking get work on blocks like this. Insert block, right, to take out the linebacker at the second level. And these type of blocks are going to be something where you can keep Loveland on because he is good at striking and sustaining at the second level. And that success is definitely warranted, right? As you kind of maybe acclimate him to the NFL level, you know, he'll be able to, you know, get easy wins like that as a blocker. Now, he does still do good work pinning defensive linemen at the line of scrimmage. Here's a nice down block, right, against Michigan State on a run play to the outside. But you see a lot of these where he is doing good work, low to high. He's hanging on. You know, he's holding the line at the point of attack against defensive linemen, and that's really encouraging. Here, I think, is a great example of the pad level. Look at his pad level. Look at the defender's pad level, and just helping win at the line of scrimmage. Like, he can do it. You know, work low to high. Again, continue to just hold your ground with enough power because he got that initial kind of launch low to high is really helpful for him. And here is, again, another good example, but this is an issue, right? You don't want the hands to be super wide. You don't want him kind of hanging on as much. You want to help initiate that strike. But again, he does a good job hanging on because he's strong and willing and continues to give high effort. Obviously, these ancillary blocks, right, against linebackers and safeties, I think are going to be easy ones for him. Here's a really nice job working to the second level and sustaining that block. Like those are going to be ones where he can get you wins. Here I'm impressed with the combo block with the right tackle, right? Help him out, get to that second level option, and that clears any chance of a second level guy, you know, getting to the running back at all. And here, chip the defensive end and then get to the second level defender so that it gives your running back a lane to run through. Like just simple stuff like that. I think he is, I came away much more impressed than I thought I was. And again, in space, right, when he's working as kind of a big slot, like he's going to be able to sustain blocks out there. You know, here, condensed formation brings everybody into the run fit. Loveland's job, make sure you seal and turn the defender to the outside, just help spring a big run. And he does that, right? Like assignments like that are going to be, you know, pretty easy for him at the next level. And here in pass protection, a couple things, right? Lose slowly if you can. And he does a great job of that there, right? Hanging on just enough. And here against Washington, the Natty, like he does a great job holding the line. And it's only really because of this pressure on the left side that McCarthy runs into the defender that Loveland is blocking. So that's really impressive. Now, he does get over his skis a little bit, right? And you see the hand placement. The defender's got, you know, inside placement on his chest, and he's kind of bear hugging a little bit too much. And when you get out over your skis, right, you can whiff and get push pulled. Here's a pretty rough one where he's really just didn't even try to get a strike in. So we can't have that. And again, when the hand placement is wide, right, you see the hands down, you want to get that first strike in there as good as possible. You're going to be more susceptible to losing at the point of attack. So there are a couple areas to improve, but I think I was more surprised at how well he did on a lot of reps versus what the grading said. So as a receiver, right, really fluid, really refined here, quick attack of leverage, and to just give yourself a little extra space on the slant route. Here, same thing, right? Continue to pressure vertically. Just make that 45-degree transition look super, super smooth. The ability to sink his hips, right? Look at how quickly he gets in and out of that break, kind of faking the crosser to work back on an outbreaker there. And then here, I think kind of a usage thing where you go, okay, yeah, the offense can get creative with him because of how sudden he is running this Texas route. Now, catch point, we'll kind of get into that, but really, really impressive there. And here, look at him sink the hips on this comeback route. Like, that is supreme stuff. And it gives you, some confidence that maybe he can win on some of these on the outside at the NFL level. The ability to sink your hips, win comeback routes. Pretty much a big boy route at the next level. How about in breakers, right? A little bit of pressure, and then just that last second transition there to flatten that route over the middle. Gives him those easy wins. And you saw him right there, right? On this rep, if we go back, right, where is he on this play? Where is he here? He is the number 3 against off coverage, right? And he's winning a route like that. Fast forward to the next one. Where is he? Attached to the line of scrimmage. But because he's so athletic, he can win the in-breaker like this off of play action in a condensed look. And that is where he's going to provide a ton of value. Here, switch release, work through contact at the top to win the in-breaker. Super good work from him there as well. And then on outbreakers too, he's really efficient in transition. Have to not clap this one, make sure we hang on to the football. But his outbreaking stuff is really good too. And he is the outside guy on this play. What does he do? Pressure vertically, efficient turn and break, and an easy catch, right, against an outside corner. Same thing here. Now attached to the line of scrimmage. What do we have to do? Pressure vertically as much as possible, and then win in that transition and really flatten the route break. And he does such a good job with that. Wish he had gotten the ball here. It was kind of a theme for Michigan last year, just because of the quarterback situation. And here I think is a really good one. Hopefully we can see it where he does a great job stemming first to the outside, then back in. And then look at the breakdown, the hip sink. McCarthy's already got to this route on the other side, but it's so good. He fights through contact, and he wins the out route with subtle stem work, and it's so good. So good. And then watch these return routes. The efficiency through that break to get separation over the middle is impressive. Same thing here, right? Look at how efficient he is working through that break. And he does a good job when necessary to win with some physicality at the top of routes, good concentration and hand-eye coordination there as the ball's arriving really quickly. Same thing, use that physicality at the top. Also great awareness, stretching out for the first down marker there. And I really wanted to include this one because just show you the movement skills and a plan of attack at receiver. Now, this is a run play, but this is also a diamond release where he wins, by the way, against an outside corner. So, I think that's pretty impressive stuff. Obviously, he's got long strides. He's got enough speed to stretch up the seam, right, like he does there. Here, I think it's just a great job of swiping and ripping through contact to stack on sort of a seam, more vertical breaking route there. And I thought that was really nice from him. And then here, as we transition and what he can do at the catch point, look at this. Look at that. Attack with late stem work, jab step at the top, explode out of it, up the seam, and then really great extension. Like, he flashes that extension work. And here, obviously, again, really good at the transition point on a sail route. But then, again, the scramble play, great high point ability, really, really impressive. And then here as well, really good adjustment to a high point where, again, and surviving through contact at the same time. Now, back shoulder throws are going to be effective with him, right? He makes great late adjustments to those throws. This is a great one against Illinois as well. Kind of working a wheel route, but again, just quick adjustment when he realizes where the ball is. Super, super good. Can he adjust to low throws? Yes, of course he can. And then here's kind of a scramble drill, stays creative, right? You see him go quick, little jab back vertically, and it opens kind of a window up. But again, keep that 1 foot, toe tap the sideline. Really, really impressive there. And then here, right, he runs an outbreaker, right? This isn't a curl route or anything, but he just good instincts working back to the football. And obviously that sets you up for good post-catch work, right? And then here, just had to throw this in as well, the creativity, right? It's scramble drill mode. little bit of pressure vertically there, but he knows he's coming back to the ball. Super, super work from Loveland. Super work. And so again, you know, another, just a subtle thing, right, of like adjustment behind him as he's moving, you know, the opposite direction, and just the speed he can kind of maintain through that catch point, I think is also really impressive. Here, same thing. It's a little behind him, but again, he's maintains that speed, and then, you know, really coordinated after the catch. He can make guys miss. Look at him kind of lower the shoulder to reduce the surface area, kind of like a running back would do to make the first defender miss after the catch, right? And this one might get a little tough to see at the bottom of your screen, but kind of a stiff arm look, and he makes the first defender miss, and that creates a massive play after the catch there. What happens when it's all put together, right? Vertical pressure, win the in-breaker, right? Control a ton of space for yourself, incredible extension, and then the ability to accelerate, right? Once he's got the ball in his hand and he's able to kind of recover from that extension is super good. There are a couple plays. Catch point. You saw a drop right during this one. You saw a little bit of kind of a drop against Texas where it was a little behind him, but to survive contact. Here's one where, again, he makes the catch initially with extension, but the defender is able to knock the ball out of his hand. I would love to see him be stronger at the catch point for sure. And then a play like this where, again, he's open, right? The throw's going to arrive. What I want him to do is fully attack this in the air, right? He kind of lets it, he jumps a little and lets it into the body, and that's just inviting the defender to come back in to kind of make that interception happen. So Colston Loveland, I mean, you see it, right? The ability to insert blocks, but he can hold the, you know, the line when he needs to against defensive ends. It's still inconsistent, sure, but it's very promising, right? And the ability to run a lot of different routes, you know, is going to allow him to be on the perimeter as a receiver, be in the slot, but also have the ability to have his hand in the dirt in line and be able to create explosive plays. Like, that's what makes Loveland so intriguing to me, is that he can really change your offense and kind of be a focal point of it, you know, as you move to this, like, we're getting back to running the football, right? We want bigger personnel, but at the same time, smaller personnel, right? He can kind of let you live in the gray area between 11 and 12 personnel, and I think that's what makes him one of my favorite prospects in this class. So hope you guys enjoyed this video on Colston Loveland. You did throw a like down there. Subscribe if you're new. Plenty more draft content in the coming week before here, and a little bit post-draft as well. So stick around for that. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Farewell.